So we will start with chapter 8 today. So we were able to see some bird's eye view of chapter 7. Very grateful to the Lord, and also so grateful to all of you for coming regularly here. And hope all of you are reading purports. And so, I mean, that's very important. That's the goal of this session.
Where you are?
Okay, so somebody can read and everyone can recite on unmute. Deepak Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Hare Krishna.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्विताश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च एवं च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Thank
हरे
you.
कृष्ण।
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namne Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari. Okay, so we did chapters 7. Some review questions from chapter 7. Let me okay, so why if what is the example that Krishna is giving about how he is a source of everything in chapter 7? Those who know can raise hands. No one? Somebody to okay. The example that he says that how he's a source of everything. Bhuvana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, the pearl in the strung Mataji, seventh verse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pearls are strung on a thread.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the example the Lord is giving here. And what are the 8 elements that constitute the material energy? Chandir Mataji.
It's earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego.
Very good. Yes.
Number 4 text, it was
Yes,
said.
exactly. So what is Krishna's superior energy?
It's I think it's
Okay, let's give chance to others also. Ashutosh Prabhu.
So, living entities are Lord superior energy, Mataji.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Living entities are Lord superior energy. Thank you. And what binds, okay, this is a multiple choice. What binds the living entities in the material world? A, food and sleep. B, duty and family. C, fear and greed. D, desire and hate. According to this chapter 7. Yeah, D is the right answer. Desire and hate. Yeah. Um, okay, this is who can understand Krishna as he is? A, those who perform rituals. B, those who read scriptures. C, one who surrenders unto him with devotion. D, only Brahmanas. Yeah. Meera Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, is it devotees who fully surrender to Krishna?
Yes. Yes. Okay. And okay, this is a little more detailed, but with the help of the thing, you can say this. Mm, okay, it's like the fill in the blanks. Krishna says, I am the taste of blank. You can put it in the chat. Yeah, water is the right answer. Krishna is the original fragrance of blank. Krishna is the original fragrance of earth. Okay, good. Um, Krishna is the life of blank, life of all blank. Yeah, life of all that lives. Okay, good. Uh, as it is said here, what is Krishna's relationship with the Vedas? Okay, you have to choose the 4. He is the syllable Om, number 1, and he's not mentioned in the Vedas, number 2. It's very hard to find him in the Vedas. Number 3 and 4. Sorry, A, B, C, D. D is he's a teacher of the Vedas. So you have to pick the answer that is there from this chapter, from what we discussed. Okay. Yeah, he's Om in the Vedic scriptures. Okay. And what are the 4 types of pious people who approach Krishna? So you have to pick from the multiple choice. A, distressed, inquisitive, saints, priests. Number 2, Arjuna, Bhishma, Narada, and Uddhava. 3, distressed, inquisitive, those seeking wealth, and those seeking knowledge. D is demons, devotees, saints, and common man. Okay, yeah. C is right. Distress, the inquisitive, those who seek wealth, and those seeking knowledge. Okay, who is the best among the 4 types of devotees? Hmm. Yeah, the best among the 4 types of devotees is one who is seeking knowledge. Okay. And Krishna says, after many births, one who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. What is such a soul called? A. Jnani, B. Yogi, C. Mahatma, D. Tapasvi. Yes. C. Mahatma is the right answer. Because where he says, right? After many, many births, knowing me to be the cause of all the causes, such a great soul is very rare. In the text, it is mentioned that they are Mahatmas. Okay. Why do others not surrender to Krishna? Okay, why do others not surrender to Krishna? A, they are not educated. B, they are deluded by Maya. C, they are materialistic. D, they are influenced by demons. Yeah, B is the right answer. That is deluded by Maya. Okay. What does Krishna say about his devotees who know him in truth? A, they are very rare. B, they are always very rich. C, they perform rituals. D, they are free from birth and death. Yeah, A is the right answer. Krishna says here, they are very rare. Okay. This question. Those who take shelter of Krishna, A, can cross over old age and death. B, will be fully knowledgeable. C, will perform ascetic Ashtanga yoga system. D, none of the above. Yeah, as it's mentioned in text 29, they will be are able to attain liberation from old age and death. Okay. So what's the title of this chapter? Title of chapter 7. This is a fill in the blanks question. Yes, knowledge of the absolute. Okay, all of you are amazing and ready to go to chapter 8. Okay, so we will read okay, Srinath Prabhu, you can read the first 5 and then everybody else can take turns.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? What are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Who is the Lord of sacrifice and how does he live in the body, O Madhusudana? And how can those engaged in devotional service know you are at the time of death? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Acting pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities. O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun, moon, is called Adidaiva, and I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the Supreme Super Soul in the art of every embodied being, am called Adi Yagna, the Lord of Sacrifice. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once attains my nature. One of this, of this there is no doubt.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, if we see the first text, you can all unmute and repeat after me. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna
Vacha
Kim Tad Brahma Kimadhyatmam
Kim tat brahma kim adhyatmam.
Kim Karma Purushottama
Kim
karma
karma
purushottam
Adhibhutam Cha Kim Proktam
adibhutam cha kim proktam.
Adhidaivam Kimuchyate.
Adhidaivam kim uchyate.
Okay. So the Gita Mahatmya story for this is that um, there were a couple, Kushibal and Kumati. I mean, strange names like Duryodhan. So they did not do any charity, always hoarded money for themselves, spent them the whole life they had spent like that, and also did so much sinful activities. So after they both passed away, they did not have enough punya, pious activities to get a human body. So they uh, became a Brahma Rakshas, like ghosts. And they are in a tree. They were in a tree, and then this Kumati is asking, how long will we suffer like this? Okay, so then that the ghost and the Kushibal in the form of the ghost is answering, uh, I don't know, but we did not use our life properly in self-realization to know about Brahman, to know about karma and others. So we have to suffer like this for the negligence of not using the life properly. Then she asked, Kim tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma Purushottama. So she did not plan to recite this verse, but she is asking what is Brahma, what is Adhyatma, what is Karma, and Purushottama is she's addressing her husband like that, Purushottama. As soon as she told this, asked this question, actually, he is telling that we should know about karma and adhyatma and dharma. We lost the chance, so that's why we are suffering. So she is asking, what is karma? What is adhyatma? What is Brahma? Please tell me, my Lord, this Purushottama. As soon as she recited this, inadvertently she has recited half a shloka of Bhagavad Gita, which is the first verse of this. Then that that immediately they both got liberated from that horrible ghost bodies. And not only that, they were on a tree, and that tree's background also, that there was this person who was very very full of sinful activities, and he did not get enough karma to be born as a human being. So he was a tree. Not only they both got liberated from the curse of being ghosts, even the tree broke down. So even he got liberated by just listening to one half of the first verse, and that too not uh, intentionally reciting, just by a chance. So then we can imagine, first of all, how fortunate we are to get a human life, and second, to be able to uh, have the opportunity to read and practice Bhagavad Gita, and third, to be consistent in that. See, there are filters in so many places. Some, by the Lord's mercy, we are here, and we saw from the seventh chapter that how it is very, very rare soul. Krishna is saying that those who get this opportunity to learn about Bhagavad Gita is a Mahatma, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So I remember this story very vividly because back I'd heard this probably in 2003. Guru Maharaj was saying this story and then starting off the class. So all of us, he made us to recite this verse again and again. So knowing the importance of just reciting this verse. So Arjuna is asking the question, what is Brahman? What is self? Fruitive activities? Material manifestation? Demigods? And who's the Lord of sacrifice? How does he live in the body? And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? So 8 questions, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So Krishna is answering all the questions in the third and the fourth, and the rest of the chapter for the last question. How can someone engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Because if we see many chapters, he is ending with this concept. For example, chapter 2. The last verse of chapter 2, he says that if a person is situated in this, if one is situated even at the hour of death, that's the way of spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. If one is thus situated even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. And in the 7th chapter also, we see that the last verse was how to um, go beyond old age and death. So Arjuna is very specifically asking this question. What is, how can we know you at the time of death? So Krishna is answering, living entity is called Brahman, eternal nature is Adhyatma, karma is action that builds our next body and the subsequent bodies. That's called karma. and the physical nature that's constantly changing. That is this material manifestation. We saw how it is created and annihilated. That is Adibhuta. And the universal form, which include all the demigods, which we will see in the chapter 11, that is Adi Daiva. And he as a super soul is Adi Yajna. And he says, who are at the end of the life. So this also, anybody here, I know the shloka and want to lead the recitation. You can recite and all of us can recite. Yeah, Abba Mataji.
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम् या प्रयाति स मद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशय.
Yeah. Okay, so let me recite and everyone can repeat. Antakale cha mameva
अन्तकाले च मामेव
smaran muktva kalevaram
स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्
prayati samadbhavam
Yeah.
यः
प्रयान्ति समद्भावम्
भावं
yati nastyatra
संशयः
Nasti
So he's saying, at the end of his life, quitting the body, remembering me also or me alone? Me alone.
Me alone.
Yeah. At once attains my nature. Of this, there is no doubt. That is the practice, right? Whatever is deep in the heart, that's what we will be able to think at the end of the life. So it's important that we practice this remembrance throughout our life. Why? Okay, from this purport, how much rounds should we chant every day? Is it mentioned here?
16 rounds.
Is 16 rounds mentioned in the purport?
No.
Constantly, incessantly.
Right. Constantly and incessantly.
Incessantly.
Yeah. So chant the Mahamantra. So 16 rounds is enabling us to either constantly and incessantly. We are not in that position to chant like that. So at least we practice. We force ourselves to sit and chant. That will take 2 hours out of 24 hours. But if we are not yet up to that, we have not molded our life to come to 16. It's obviously it's a tall demand to take 2 hours from our busy life every single day, and do we consistently do that? So we practice 1 round, then 2 rounds, then 3 rounds, then 4 rounds slowly, and then we become consistent in that. If we are able to chant 4, then we chant 4 every day, every single day, no matter what. And some days, mind is somewhere or something is playing tricks. We are busy. We had chanted only 2. So if we are consistently chanting 4 malas, that means if we have chanted only 2 today, then tomorrow we make it up for that. 4 plus 2, 8. And even when we are chanting 1 round, okay, we can make this a practice. This is called, for those of us from India, it's not difficult to that we take a oath, this vrata, that vrata, we do it for some time. But this holy name also should be taken like a vrata. If we are chanting 1 round, if we are giving Krishna that food, uh, you know, then we make sure that we don't starve him. One day we starve him, the next day we give him 2 rounds. So that is consistency. So when we are able to give that consistency, then we can see that the Lord blesses us to find time to increase more. So we can take up to, how many ever months you want or a year, but our goal should be that once we are slowly chanting for, say, for example, 8 rounds, then we don't come down 6 and 4 and sometimes 2 and 0 and again 8. This will not, it's like irregular watering of the plants. It will not grow. So we can take time to come to a particular number of rounds, but we have to make sure that we have molded our life and activities in such a way that we can include that comfortably every day. So it is hard to do that without rising a little early than what we usually get up. Like practical tips. How will we suddenly find 1 hour? Already everybody, no matter where we are, what we are doing, how old we are busy from morning to night, something or the other to do. So that's why whatever time we are getting up, we practice to get up a little early, 15 minutes first and half an hour. And then there also we want to be consistent in that getting up a little early so we can start the day with this chanting. So we can have the benefit of, because if this is a goal and Krishna is saying this, then we have to take it seriously, right? Okay. So text 6 to 10. Ishwinder Prabhu, nice to see you here.
Hare Krishna Mataji, never. Hare Krishna. Yes, text 7. So 6. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain one without fail. Text 7. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Text 8. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, Heo Partha is sure to reach me. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature. One who at the time of death fixes his life here between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga with an undeviating mind engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. So, who's there? Again, Yashita Mataji, are you there to recite this verse and everyone can recite after you?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I can try.
Yeah.
Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam
Yam yam
Yam vapi
vapi
smaran
smaram
bhavam
bhavam
त्यजत्य ante kalevaram
tyajatyanti
kalevaram
tam tam eveti kaunteya
tam
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 evati
evaiti
kaunteya
kaunteya
tada tad bhav bhavitah
sada tad
sada
bhava bhavitah
tadbhavitah.
That's why Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam. Whatever we remember at the time of death, Tyajatyante Kalevaram. Kalevaram is this body, Tyajati is giving up. When we give up this body, Tam Tam Evaiti Kaunteya. That is what, O son of Kunti, that bhava, that state of being, one attains. So that state he will attain without fail. Okay. Next verse. Who is comfortable to recite this verse, and everyone can recite after you? Yeah, Srivatsa Prabhu, do you want to recite?
Sure, Mataji, I can give it a shot. Bhagavad Gita 8.7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu
Tasmat
Tasmat sarveshu
सर्वेषु
kaleshu
कालेषु
mam anusmara yudhyacha
mam
अनुस्मरयुध्य
anusmarayudhya
च
mai arpita mano buddhir
May
मयि
mam evaishyasya asmasayah
माम् एवैष्यसि संशयः.
Oh, Shamshay.
Thank you.
Mataji, I had a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
This melody that people go into as soon as they start this verse, is it necessary, or is there a certain format how the verse is?
Start in this melody. This is usually spoken in ISKCON when they start reciting the shlokas, but I have not heard of anything to any. I mean, there are so many melodies that we can use. There's no hard
Okay.
and fast rule on any melody.
Okay.
Okay, so here Krishna is saying, people say that, okay, constantly and incessantly chant. So then we leave everything and constantly and incessantly chant only. No. He says to think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. So that's the main thing. While doing our duties, also to think of the Lord, we have to practice chanting Hare Krishna. Because initially, we can't, unless we have practiced very nicely, without chanting Hare Krishna, it's hard to think about the Lord. But even while chanting Hare Krishna, mind runs away. Like, like the bird when the cage is open. So when we chant, we are hearing that, and then it's easy to remember that, remember the Lord. So that is why this chanting, which can be done, there are no hard and fast rules. Of course, whatever this is not in the place of chanting in beats. We have to take aside some time, and at that time, no other work except chanting. That should be done. That's preferably in the morning, if not any time during the day and in the night also, no problem. But that activity should be only, we should be able to, we are dedicating only to chanting. And with the being absorbed like that will help us to chant Hare Krishna or hum that instead of humming some cinema songs or something that a TV ad. Because as humans, we are so prone to music, right? So instead of doing all that, because we have invested time to chant and hear, it's natural that we will be chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, so who did that? The example is Bharat Maharaj from just kind of find. Yeah, so there are 8, chapter 8. First, chapter 7 says activities of King Bharata, and then what is his character, and how Bharat Maharaja became Jada Bharat. If we see, this is what happened. Although, can someone read this? First paragraph. Yeah, Ashutosh Prabhu, would you like to read?
Yes, Hare Krishna. Although Bharat Maharaj was very elevated, he fell down due to his attachment to a young deer. One day, after Bharat Maharaja had taken his bath as usual in the river Gandaki and was chanting his mantra, he saw a pregnant deer come to the river to drink water. Suddenly there could be heard the thundering roar of a lion, and the deer was so frightened that it immediately gave birth to its calf. It then crossed the river but died immediately thereafter. Maharaja Bharat took compassion upon the motherless calf, rescued it from the water, took it to his ashrama, and cared for it affectionately. He gradually became attached to this young deer and always thought of it affectionately. As it grew up, it became Maharaja Bharat's constant companion, and he always took care of it. Gradually, he became so absorbed in thinking of this deer that his mind became agitated. As he became more attached to the deer, his devotional service slackened. Although he was able to give up his opulent kingdom, he became attached to the deer. Thus, he fell down from his mystic yoga practice. Once, when the deer was absent, Maharaja Bharat was so disturbed that he began to search for it. While searching and lamenting the deer's absence, Maharaja Bharat fell down and died. Because his mind was fully absorbed thinking of the deer, he naturally took his next birth from the womb of a deer. However, because he was considerably advanced spiritually, he didn't forget his past activities, even though he was in the body of a deer. He could understand how he had fallen down from his exalted position, and remembering this, he left his mother deer and again went to Pulaha Ashram. He finally ended his fruitive activities in the form of deer, and when he died, he was released from the deer's body. Hare Krishna.
So this is each text, that chapter summary, and this is each text. And each text, if you click, there is the Sanskrit, exactly like Bhagavad Gita, synonyms and translation and purport. So very beautiful to read. Then, so we can see that how at the end of the life his mind was absorbed in the deer, and so he had to take up the body of a deer. And then what happened? Yeah, can someone? We are already out of time. Okay, Shri, what's up, Prabhu? We'll read this.
The supreme character of Jada Bharata. In this chapter, Bharata Maharaja's attainment of the body of a Brahmana is described. In this body, he remained like one dull, deaf and dumb, so much so that when we were brought before the goddess Kali to be killed, when he was brought before the goddess Kali to be killed as a sacrifice, he never protested but remained silent. After having given up the body of a deer, he took birth in the womb of the youngest wife of a Brahmana. In this life, he could also remember the activities of his past life, and in order to avoid the influence of society, he remained, where is it? He remained like a deaf and dumb person. He was very careful not to fall down again. He did not mix with anyone who was not a devotee. This process should be adopted by every devotee. As advised by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Asat Sanghu Tyaga, E Vaishnava Achara. One should strictly avoid the company of non-devotees, even though they may be family members. When Bharata Maharaja was in the body of a Brahmana, the people in the neighborhood thought of him as a crazy, dull fellow, but within he was always chanting and remembering Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although his father wanted to give him an education and purify him as a Brahmana by offering him the sacred thread, he remained in such a way that his father and mother could understand that he was crazy and not interested in the reformatory method. Nonetheless, he remained fully Krishna conscious, even without undergoing such official ceremonies. Due to his silence, some people who were no better than animals began to tease him in many ways, but he tolerated this. After the death of his father and mother, his stepmother and stepbrothers began to treat him very poorly. They would give him the most condemned food, but still he did not mind. He remained completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. He was ordered by his stepbrothers and mother to guard a paddy field one night, and at that time the leader of a dacoit party took him away and tried to kill him by offering him as a sacrifice before Bhadrakali. When the dacoits brought Bharata Maharaja before the goddess Kali and raised a chopper to kill him, the goddess Kali became immediately alarmed due to the mistreatment of a devotee. She came out of the deity, and taking the chopper in her own hands, killed all the dacoits there. Thus, a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can remain silent despite the mistreatment of non-devotees. Rogues and dacoits who misbehave toward a devotee are punished at last by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So isn't it so nice that how Jadaparat here it one says that, one thing that we should not misunderstand is that even if the family members are not devotees, it's not that one should give them up or be indifferent to them. Only thing what is mentioned here that we don't take their association is that we don't get influenced by their ideas. Rather, we be patient and we perform our uh, uh, devotional activities at the same time empathize with them, then slowly they will be influenced by the process of devotional service. So then finally in this chapter we see that how Jada was asked to carry the palanquin of Maharaja Rahugana, and he wasn't able to carry properly. He was chastised by Maharaja Rahugana, and then Jadabharat finally first time he spoke, and he's instructing King Rahugana, and then you see it is going to 3 chapters: conversation between Maharaja Rahugana and Jadabharata, talks between King Rahugana and Jadabharata, further then the material world as a great forest of enjoyment. After that, the next thing starts.
Mataji, somebody's not muted. It's disturbance is coming.
Yeah. Can everyone please mute? So, okay, thank you. So, my humble request is we have a plan to read Bhagavatam also, and we should also support this knowledge by buying a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. See, Bhaktivedanta Book Trust is so which person will put it all internet, and how will their books sell, right? But we are reading from internet, so we can also be grateful to contribute for the printing, and so in this way more amount of Bhagavad Gitas and Srimad Bhagavatams can be printed. First of all, we can have a set ourselves, then we can encourage others also. So we see how this whatever is told in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam explains that more. Because Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna didn't have time. Already the conches are blown. So there is no time, but he has to. So concepts are explained by Krishna as a crash course. And Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit had at least 7 days. So Sukadeva Goswami took a concept and explained it in reality, what happened, a history, how this is applied. So we can see how Bharat Maharaj became a deer and again back as Jada and but he could remember his previous lives. Okay, so he says, Krishna is telling that you have to think of me and at the same time carry out your prescribed duties. How to meditate on Krishna is giving as the oldest, as a supreme person who knows everything, controller, smaller than the smallest, who's maintainer of everything, who's beyond all material conception, who's inconceivable, but most importantly, who's always a person. Purusha, it says, Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram Aditya Varnam Tamasaha Parastat. So he's a person. He's luminous like the sun and is beyond the transcendental and material nature. In the next few verses, Krishna is talking about Sat Chakra Yoga. That yoga where brahmacharis, they remain and dedicated to this throughout their life, and how they are able to fix their mind at the time of death. Did we read 11 to, yeah, 11 to 15? Can someone read? Yes, Annapurni Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara, and who are great sages in the renounced order enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. Text 12. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. Text 13. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the supreme personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. Text 14. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I'm easy to obtain. O son of Pritha, because of this constant engagement in devotional service. Text 15. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he's explaining in the first 3, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, 13, that how, what is the Sat Chakra Yoga system, and how a person out of his own endeavor have to remember the Lord. But in text 14, he contrasts. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, more than this mechanical process. So why? Because of his constant engagement in devotional service. If we develop love for the Lord, then to think about the Lord, no amount of, we don't need to raise the chakra, we don't need to place it in between the thing, not required. If we have developed a love, automatically we will think about the Lord only. And that requires practice, right? So that's why he's saying that if we remember him without deviation, he's easy to obtain. In contrast to the Satchakra Yoga, which of course now, even previously also it is difficult. Now it is, very difficult. Yeah. So why we have to attain him? Because of this. After attaining him, for yogis in devotion, never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries. Okay. Bhuvana Mataji, would you like to read this verse and everyone can repeat?
Hare Krishna Mataji. 8.15. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita 8.15. Mam upetya punarjanma
Mam upetya
Upetya punarjanma
dukhalayam ashashvatam
Dukhalayam
Dukhalayam
napnuvandi mahatmanah
Napnuvanti Mahatmanah
samsiddhim paramam kataha.
Samsiddhi
Paramam
Gataha.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So it said, Napnuvanti Mahatmanaha Samsiddhim Paramam Gataha. What they don't attain, Dukkalayam Shashvatam. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries, dukkhalayam. And not only dukkhalayam, there is sukha. I mean, of course, there is happiness, but that's also temporary. That's why it's dukkhalayam, and whatever sukha is there is also ashashvatam. That means this spiritual world is opposite to this sukhalayam and shashvatam. Always there is full of bliss, and everything is eternity for eternal there. Okay. Only we have 8 more verses. Okay, we will finish this chapter. Text 16 to 20. Anyone can read. Yes, Shilpa Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Text 15. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. Text 16. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Text 17. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Text 18. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. Text 19. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Text 20. Yet there is another unmanifest nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is.
Thank you, Mataji. But I
Thank you, ma'am.
think this requires a little more time. I don't want to rush through this because we are already time. So we will take this up in the next class. The concept of time and Brahma's day. We did this in the 18th day, but maybe not fully. So we'll do it in the next class. 16 to the rest of the chapter. Okay. And especially this purport, 16. Yeah. If you all can go through this, not 16, 17. Yeah. Please go through this purport and we will discuss this. What is Kali Yuga? What is Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga? What is Brahma's one day? Okay, yeah, then we'll pause here because I've been getting feedbacks that, of course, we should finish on time so devotees are not overburdened. So we read till 15. So please go through the purports of till 15 and also 17th purport. So we will have an idea to discuss the next class. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So if you have any questions for the next 5-10 minutes, we can take.
Mataji, I just have one comment.
Okay.
You said this is a crash course. I cannot imagine how much it would be the actual Bhagavad. So it's, I mean, yeah, we are doing that, but still, it has to be very.
You know, right? You are joining in the afternoon reading call, how detailed it is.
Yes, yes. So yeah, that saying, if this is a crash course, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even think this is a crash course.
Yeah, that's the Lord. Yeah. And also, if anyone wants Bhagavatam in Charlotte or in Toronto, please contact me. I have some devotees who can give you that. And also, here in within US, also we can ship anywhere from ISKCON of Charlotte. Yeah, that's it. No questions today. Okay, so then thank you all very much for joining. And this 8th chapter is so very gripping, and at the same time, it's like a turning point. And Krishna is pulling our attention to one thing, thinking about him, and also giving ways how we can do that. And what happens if we do that, and what happens if he fails. So we will take time to read the purpose of the first 15 verses before Thursday. Then we can take the rest of the verses on Thursday, Krishna willing. Okay, so we will pause here. Thank you all very much for coming today. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.